Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic today is Google, Roku, and Amazon annual fall spat. By the way, my background is a pretty Minnesota scene I snapped yesterday morning on the way home from church. Google's YouTube TV began streaming live TV in selected US cities on April 5th, 2017. I signed up for YouTube TV when the service became available in the Twin Cities, Minnesota on July 20th, 2017, about 3.5 months later. I had to use my computer, tablet, or smartphone to watch it. Later, I bought a Chromecast streaming device, which enabled me to cast YouTube TV from my tablet or phone to my big TV. This worked okay, but it wasn't particularly convenient because if you remember, those old Chromecasts didn't have any remote control. After hearing rumors, I was really ecstatic when YouTube TV app appeared on my TV's Roku streamer on February 5th, 2018. I was so excited, remember it well. I'm sure most of you are well aware of the spat that's been going on since last April between Roku and YouTube TV. It's been covered by many news services, but I found that recent coverage by TechCrunch.com was exceptional. Here are some details from their article. Roku shared a progress update in late October on the ongoing contract dispute with Google related to its attempt to renew the carriage agreement for Google's live TV streaming service, YouTube TV. Though its partnership agreement has a termination date of December 9th, YouTube told TechCrunch.com that existing users on existing Roku devices will still be able to use both the YouTube TV app and the YouTube app. However, new Roku owners won't be able to download either of the apps, it said. Earlier this year, Roku had revealed details of its contract dispute, saying that Google had been asking for special treatment with regard to how its services are integrated into Roku's operating system. While the agreement under discussion is mainly related to YouTube TV, Google was also asking for preferential ranking of YouTube content in Roku's search results and permission to override default settings when the YouTube app is being used. For example, if a YouTube user used a voice search to ask for music, Google wanted YouTube Music to play the request, even if the customer had set up Pandora as their preferred music app. Roku alleged that Google was asking for more data on Roku customers than it provides other developers. And Roku also said that Google threatened to increase the hardware specification requirements for YouTube TV, which of course would ensure that Roku's lower and more competitively priced streaming players would not be able to access it. Google has consistently pushed back on Roku's statement, saying that it had not made requests to access user data or interfere with search results. Kind of think somebody's not being truthful. Google also shamed Roku for turning to customers in an attempt to sway the negotiations in its favor and said Google's requests were about providing a good user experience. Well, that's so nice. Roku in turn said it had simply updated its customers, informing them that no progress has yet been made in negotiations and alerted them that Google could later take more punitive action if it chose to do so. That Roku would warn customers of the possibility of removal that even Google says isn't yet happening is an indication of how dirty these negotiations have gotten, TechCrunch claimed. Roku's arguments seem to largely boil down to what sort of rights it has to dictate how its own software works as the platform provider. That means determining how search results are displayed and how apps are meant to behave according to its own guidelines. It may be noted that these are the same sort of rules that Google makes for their own platforms. Now, although Roku is the platform in this scenario, it doesn't put itself on the side of tech giants who are accused of abusing their monopoly power. Rather, Google paints itself as the victim, having to bow to Google's demands or risk losing Google's must-have apps like YouTube and YouTube TV. And of course, Google competes directly with Roku with its Chromecast streaming device, which now, of course, has a remote control. Since our negotiations with Roku earlier this year, we've continued to work with them to find a resolution that benefits our mutual users, a YouTube spokesman said. Google responded, Roku has once again chosen to make unproductive and baseless claims rather than try to work constructively with us. Since we haven't been able to continue our conversations in good faith, our partnership for all new Roku devices will unfortunately end on December 9th. Existing users of YouTube and YouTube TV are not impacted, they add, which we knew already. NextTV.com reported last Monday that Roku's agreement to carry Amazon's IMDb TV app will expire at the end of 2021. As with Roku's spat with Google, there are plenty of complicating factors. Now, IMDb is an AVOD. That means advertising-based video on demand type of app. Roku downplayed it, saying, we have renewal discussions with dozens of partners each year in the normal course of business, and these are focused on achieving mutually beneficial agreements that provide our customers with the best possible user experience and value. Yep. A significant complicating factor is that Amazon bundles IMDb TV with its much more compelling Amazon Prime Video app. Now, Roku, with its 56 plus million users, might not shed many of them by losing IMDb TV. However, not having Amazon's Prime Video app would definitely hurt their business. During last year's negotiations between the two, Amazon pushed for detailed viewing habits about Roku subscribers' general viewing habits, which of course would benefit Amazon.com's algorithms that increase their sales. Well, I'm going to let those folks fight it out, but I'm going to stick with this story. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.